Hello, students. So today we're talking about our long-term assessment project, and this is going to be the slide deck. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on this screen what you need to do and how you need to do it. Now, the colors are completely up to you. It's really independent of what you want to do. But in a slide decks are mainly for pictures. And this is the MLA heading. So if you switch this order, it means you're just choosing not to follow the rubric of the assignment. That's what that means, right? So I should have, if I have this slide deck here, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 slides. Should have that at least. Okay. And so, which with each slide should be at least a paragraph that you're going to talk about. Okay. So if I have a title slide, here's the title of the book that you chose, and you would put a picture here, either of a character or the author. It's up to you. And then down here, this is the notes section. So here is where you're putting your words. Your words go here. So if you want to say something about the author or the picture that you chose, the author or the picture, that's where you would put, this is what I'm talking about in the notes. So I would have maybe 3 to 5 sentences since this is a title slide. Sure, that's great. Now, does this have the same audio? Yes. So I could go to Tools, and there's a voice type speaker notes here. So I can click here. I can click this button, and this will let me speak my notes about the topic that I chose, period. Use this tool if you are someone who does not type fast, but who speaks well, period. And then I unclick that microphone and I'm able to move along with my day, right? So whenever you just go back and do a quick edit, if you see red lines, and then we go into the next slide. So the next slide is favorite character, right? So the favorite character would probably be E. That's a few slides down, right? So what if I want to move this slide? All I do is click and drag that there, right? I just click and move it down. And then I set up my slide deck similar to an outline, right? So this slide would be an author profile, very easy, right? Before I go and do my research, yeah. And I can put borders on it. I can set this up for whatever. If I want to change the line and make it brighter, I can play with these layouts later. I can go back and play with that. And I can center this. I don't have to keep it on this side. I can put it over here. All of those things are just details you can decide on your own. Author profile, I go to the next slide and I can see right here, it says settings slide. So I can go right here. I can talk about the setting. So I click on that. And I put setting. I'm going to go ahead and give it a border so that it matches my other slides. I'm going to go ahead and change that to gray, and you can see this pop up. Okay, so number 2, author profile. Next one is setting. And number 4, I see that that's a plot diagram for whatever story I chose to do. So I go here, I go to borders. I go here and I make it gray. And now I'm going to put like a plot diagram in this little border here. So something that's really useful is this shapes feature. And I can go ahead and put in a diagram that looks like a triangle. Okay. And I can draw it. I can draw my own triangle. I can stretch it. I can make it small like that. And I can also drag these to make it last a little in a different way. Okay. So then if I have that, what can I add for this particular thing, right? So I can grab this box and I can say rising action. And I can move this down here. And I know that I can grab some little arrows. I can grab arrows here, right? I put a little arrow here, and I can turn this arrow a little bit to show it's going up in this way. And I could drag it and make it really long. And I can also change the color of that particular arrow. And I can make that border yellow, or I can fill the color to be green like that. Okay, so you can pause the video anytime you want to go back. So the other thing is I can put lines here. I can draw some lines here of things that happen step by step right here. There's one. And I can use Command C and put another one, Command B. And now I have a second line. I can move that line, grab and move it. And I can also highlight it so it pops a little bit against the blue, right? I can take this and I can just highlight that color, right? And then I'm going to go ahead, Command C, and I'm going to put that here and go Command B, right? And move that here. So maybe I'm choosing 3 significant things that happened before I get to the climactic scene. So something really large happened. I'm going to grab a text box and I'm going to draw this text box here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in here, make that writing orange and go climactic scene. So whether it's a novel or play or whatever you decide it to be, something huge happens, right? It's a pivotal scene, right? Something pivotal for our characters. And then you have the falling action on this side that you would have learned. So if I want to just Command C and copy and put another arrow, I can drag that on this side. And then I can take this spinner and I can rotate it down like that, which shows my falling action, right? So then I would put a text box in here. After the pivotal scene, there's some falling action at the end of our play. I can make those words bold a little bit. And then there, of course, is a resolution. Something happens, right, at the end. You put this here, and you can play with everything, right? Resolution. Resolution means the conclusion of the story. What happened? Did the character die? Did they grow and change? We don't know, but you're going to tell us, right? So you can put borders around these things. You can go back and play with those. You can make them bright. You can make them do different things. But also in this area, you're going to need to put at least 3 or 4 lines that happen after the pivotal scene. So grab your line, Command C, Command B, and we're going to Command B it a couple of times, and then we just grab it over here. So that's your simple copy and paste. And then how do I write on this? How do I put the words there that I want to say, the falling action, and be really basic here? So I would go here to this T. It's called a text box. And you're just going to put this text box in here. And it's an autofill text box. So a girl sings. Something happens, right? We don't know. You're going to use the characters' names, though, and you're going to tell us exactly what happens with that particular thing, right? And if I want the letters to be a different color, I use this box. You can make it yellow. And then falling action. This is called your basic plot diagram. And in your speaker notes, you would write at least a paragraph. And then this would be details, detail explanation. Oops, detail of your plot. So this could be anywhere from 7 to 10 sentences. Okay, so there's that. Then I come over here to the theme slide, right? And I would go to 6th would be the themes, major themes. So instead of putting love, I'm going to go ahead and get a picture. How do I do that? I go to insert, image, and I'm going to search the web, right? I'm just going to put in here love, and it's super easy, right? And just give me all kinds of images, and I can just choose the one that makes sense to me, right? You got lots of choices, lots of choices. So I can go ahead and just drag and drop and put it in my slide deck. Very easy. Okay. And there may be other things like war that we've talked about, right? In our other movies or different things like that, wealth disparity, right? So I can just choose something that makes sense to me, right? I can choose something that I want to depict as my theme. If I need to adjust the picture size, I just grab the corner and make it smaller. You may not have used slides before, but I'm just going to put those there. And then in my notes, I will write a paragraph on the themes. Again, if you're not good at typing, you're just going to go ahead and use the tools, voice to type speaker notes. Okay. All right. Remember, themes are the lessons that our characters are learning. That's the most important thing. So think on that. What are they learning in this particular story, right? We're excited. You should definitely have a link to the story. And we practiced that already. So you should have at least 3 links here. If you chose photos, a lot of different photos from a certain link, go ahead and put them here, like biography, for example, right? So the setting, remember you're just putting pictures here. So if it's in the country, you're just going to put in here countryside. If it's the countryside of England, for example, or you want horses or pigs or something like that, or countryside of Japan, it's a little more specific. But you're going to go ahead and do the same thing and drag and drop. And then in your speaker notes, you're going to be very specific. Sometimes when you drag and drop, the picture's very large. So you go ahead and you adjust that. If it takes place in the country and the city through half and half, then you would go ahead and get a city picture here of Pittsburgh. And then you would write in detail notes in the notes section. And that's our project for the slide deck. If you have questions, please see me.